even though that was a very, she was very inexperienced at the time and had not much training in acting, she gave a brilliant, perfect, polished performance. She also participated in a campy film opposite Raymond Burr called Bride of the Gorilla. That was when her career was going downhill. Now, her career was derailed to a large extent by certain scandals that occurred early on. And the worst of it was when her one boyfriend, a B-level actor, Tom Neal, beat the heck out of A-list actor Franchette Tone. Okay, so she went from getting more money in a week than the average family made in a year in 1949 to, in the 1960s, taking as little as $5 as a prostitute on Skid Row and an alcoholic. She died of alcoholism, basically of problems associated with alcoholism, well, in her late 40s. Okay, now this is something that was said about her by her good friend who was also her attorney. His name was Milton Golden. And I want to read it and comment on it. Later on, I myself had occasion to note and admire this preparation in her superb cooking, her easy housekeeping skill, in which cleanliness was almost a fetish. She never could tolerate a mote of dust where it did not belong, in her unexpected ability with needle and thread, not only in clothing but in upholstery. She could take a broken-down sofa I would have consigned to the junk pile and transform it with the greatest of ease into a showpiece for anybody's living room. In fact, I have one such, beautifully brocaded, in my old home. Even at the height of her career, though height is probably too big a word to use for such a foothill, she upholstered as other women might knit or crochet. It soothes my nerves and keeps me in balance, she often told me. Now, there's a couple of points to be made here. As a teenager, she learned to cook, and by all accounts, she cooked brilliantly, as brilliantly as she acted. At a time period when, most actresses, if they had a party, they would have it catered. She would do the cooking herself. She could cook a roast, a turkey, a ham, and do it so everybody relished it and savored it. She had a good talent making a marinara sauce, making just all kinds of dishes. She was just a really, really good cook. And she was proud of being a good cook. She actually got mad at Bob Hope when he was hospitalized for eating a catered meal instead of the meal that she cooked for him. And that was, kind of understandable. It was a kind of odd jealousy, but it was understandable given the pride she took in cooking. Now, in reupholstery, she also she did in fact knit as well as do upholstery. But I think in general, she was very much into furniture refinishing, because her third husband, Tony Provost, said that there was a rusty, bent out of shape old bed frame. And it took her a few weeks, but Barbara Payton had it looking good as new. So she apparently was very good at furniture refinishing. And I think that's a very interesting skill to have and a very good skill to have. I wish that there were some photographs that I could see of her work products. It would tell us a lot about her. But we already know she was very good at it. Here he goes on. I have no doubt that in ordinary circumstances and with ordinary good looks, she would have lived her life contentedly, a normal wife, mother, woman. But she had more than ordinary good looks. She was a stunning female, with the accent on that last word. Quite unconsciously, at the beginning at least, she exuded sex. Her golden hair, bright as a new minted coin, her large blue eyes and glowing complexion, and an exquisite Nordic face, drew and held your admiration. And if you could gradually lower your eyes and find, if a woman, much to envy, and if a man, an almost magnetic attraction. And what distinguished her from other, more conventional Hollywood beauties was a contradictory wholesomeness. Okay, Barbara became well aware of this as a teenager. How else could it have been when she saw reflected in every man's eye the sudden urgency of desire? Okay, here's an interesting point. Women want to be beautiful, and it is very much important for women to look good. Okay, but at the same time, it's a two-edged sword. Being a beautiful woman also can mean being subjected to certain temptations that can cause a problem. And like they did in Barbara Payton's life, the fact that she was so attractive to men meant that, other women tended to be envious of her and could sometimes have a grudge against her. And it also meant that she got into problems like the ones she had with Fran Chatone and Tom Neal that led to her career decline. Okay, and I think oddly enough, he might be right that she would have had a normal life, perhaps been a housewife, maybe a professional cook or chef, maybe a professional upholsterer, if she had not had that stunning beauty. And also that is one thing that we women have to watch, is being beautiful is beautiful, but it also can cause a problem. And he also said, he emphasized the word female. The fact that she was so feminine, meant that men were very much attracted to her.